And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar right here on BearcatJournal.com. We are live from the Cincy Light Studios, and next time you're out and about, roaming around Cincinnati, go see our good friends at Hail Mary's. They are located in Cheviot. They're on Harrison Avenue in the Dora District, so you can go from bar to bar with your drinks, but why would you do that? You can just hang out at Hail Mary's. They've got 27 TVs, a 9-screen video wall, and they have the DirecTV sports package, so all the games will be aired, including all Cincinnati sports, on that 9-screen video wall. Brand new walk-ins, brand new draft lines, and guess what? They will pour an ice-cold Cincy Light in a 32.8-degree frosted glass. All right, Aaron, we were hoping we would maybe have a live show tonight. Maybe some activity, but nothing yet. So we wait. So instead, if you're not familiar with the off-season shows, a lot of times Aaron will find some stuff he wants to talk about, and we will put him in the driver's seat, and I will ride shotgun and give my thoughts on Aaron's thoughts.
I gotta be honest, I did not miss this producing portion of my job, finding stuff during the dead period. I forgot how difficult it can be at times. One of the biggest stories, though, to come out of today, Lee Corso is hanging him up. He is officially done. 38 years, apparently, doing the analytics, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Analysis.
Sure.
Those are two different things.
Yes. And I guess he definitely wasn't doing analytics.
No, he was not.
I'm not even certain how much analysis. I don't even know how much analysis he was doing. Truthfully, you hate to see an era end, and sure. Lee Corso has been doing this almost my entire life, as I sit here at the age of 40. But I don't remember him ever being not old. And in my opinion, he probably should have been done about 3 to 5 years ago. Probably held on to it a little too long, even in declining health. I don't know.
They scaled him back. Like he wasn't
did.
in the role that he had been in. It's very similar. I saw somebody mention this today, and I agree with it. In a time where in sports broadcasting, these older guys get shuffled out pretty quick. And between Corso and Vitale,
he was damn lovable. I mean, I don't want to take that away from him.
Between Corso and Vitale, ESPN has done right by those guys. Those guys have been icons in their sport from basically the beginning of ESPN through the rise of ESPN, and like they have left a massive lasting legacy on the sport. I didn't care for Corso because he coached at Louisville, and you know, he always let that rivalry kind of taint his view of the Bearcats when he talked about the Bearcats more often than not. I think it got ridiculous as he got towards the end of his career, the hate that he had for UC. Like, come on, dude. Like, what are we doing? But he was great for the sport. He was great for the show, whatever.
Do you have a favorite memory of Lee Corso?
Not really.
I do.
Okay.
And I think it's only because he donned the entire costume, not just the head. But when UCF was on there trying to be national champion, made up Disney national championship run, whatever it was, he did dress up in full UCF night garb and was wearing the entire costume of, is it Nitro? Is that his name? I believe.
Yeah, Nitro. Yeah.
But he had the entire costume on, and I don't think anybody saw that coming. I believe he was in a cage of some sort when it was even happening, which that's whatever. But good on him. Like I said, I mean, He probably should have rode off into the sunset a couple of years ago before some of the decline, but you hate to see him go. August 30th will be his final show, so he has one more mascot head he will be putting on, apparently, and an end of an era.
Yeah, it's they had kind of phased him out. He was like a special guest on his own show, kind of over the past couple years. So like the core of that cast has already basically moved on. So I don't think they'll have a lot of trouble keeping the show rolling.
Yeah, you've almost replaced him at this point with Pat McAfee and Nick Saban. So good on you. Hate to see you leave.
Happy retirement.
Love to watch you go.
Yeah.
That said, there was some other college football news today as well. Some changes to some rules. The biggest change coming to the makeshift timeout, the injury timeout that coaches had started to take advantage of. And the biggest change here is going to be if medical personnel enter the field to evaluate an injured player after the ball is spotted by the officiating crew for the next play, that player's team will be charged a timeout. If the team does not have any timeouts remaining, a 5-yard delay of game penalty will be assessed. Essentially, they're trying to avoid fake injuries and capitalizing a timeout.
I think it's going to make it worse because now, Aaron, you have to do it immediately. So, or it costs you a timeout. Like what we're not thinking about here, what we're not using our brains on here is a lot of these guys try to play injured, Aaron. They play injured. So you will have an injury and you will pop up and you're like, I'm fine. And then the ball gets set and then you're like, oh, damn it, I can't walk right now. And you go down. That's going to be taken away because if you do it, you lose the timeout. So what's going to happen? Play ends. As soon as you feel anything, you're going to be instructed by your coaching staff to stay down so that you don't cost the team a timeout, especially in the second half of games. Isn't that going to make it longer? Am I crazy?
If they're actually injured, it is what it is. Like, I don't know. I mean, if you think you're injured, you probably should stay down.
Yeah, but you're missing my point. Like, the coaches are going to, like, let's just say, actually, to take it even a step farther, if you think you're dinged up and you get up and you actually, like, you're okay. Like, you stay in the game. Your coach is now going to tell you if there's any chance that you might need to come out, you have to go down immediately. So you twist an ankle, and normally you would get up and walk it off and you would be fine. They're not going to risk a timeout. So as soon as you feel that ankle hurt, you better get down. Like, I think it's going to make it worse. Are we really seeing a lot of injuries to slow down play? Is that as bad as like milking the clock when one team subs and the other team sends off a 340-pound defensive tackle?
We've talked about that on the show.
Walks off the field.
That has to be addressed.
Slow walks on.
I don't know how that's not been addressed. It's not one of the new rule changes, but that one's terrible. That one's just as bad. That one's just as bad as the injury timeout, if not worse.
I agree.
As far as effect of the game, but
I agree.
I digress. You also have overtime timeouts, where previously teams were allotted one timeout for each overtime period. Now, if a game reaches a third overtime, each team will have one timeout beginning with the third overtime until a winner is determined. Any thoughts there?
So you get one at the start of overtime, and then you get another one in the third overtime?
Previously, they were allotted one timeout for each overtime period. You used to get
So you'll get one at the start of the first overtime, one at the start of the second, and then the third overtime is now just 2-point conversions. So you only get one timeout from the third overtime on till the end of the game, whenever that is.
Correct.
You're only running one play.
Pretty much.
It's a 2-point conversion. So what do you need timeouts for?
You really to draw up a play.
You get time in between the plays.
Oh, I'm not arguing for it. I'm just telling you what the coaches would argue.
Yeah, sure, just fine.
Go call a play. It's no different. Just go call a play. Like, just get the game over. Other rule changes include when a decision on instant replay is announced, the referee can only say upheld or overturned, and the terms confirmed and stands will not be used.
Because they don't want to take crap for having to say it stands, meaning we made the wrong call, but we don't have any video evidence to like change it.
They don't want it to be the letter of the law any longer.
Right.
Upheld and overturned are far less defining terms to use,
right?
As opposed to we watched the tape and it is confirmed when they can't necessarily confirm it. Kind of silly, but it is what it is. No offensive player can be in the direct line of a snap to the potential kicker or within the frame of the snapper on punts for the formation to qualify as a scrimmage kick formation. If a team is not in scrimmage kick formation, it must have 5 players numbered 50 through 79 on the line of scrimmage. Additionally, if the snapper is on the end of the line by formation, the snapper will lose scrimmage kick protection, and the opposition can line a player over the snapper.
Okay.
Kicking.
It was special teams. I went blank as soon as you started talking about it.
Fair enough. If any player with a kickoff return team makes a T signal with his arms during the kick, the team gives up the right to return the kick and the play will be whistled dead. So not just the kickoff returner, but when you do this. The T. Okay. So you can't try and fake somebody out with trying. This. Well, I think it used to just be the guy who was going for the return.
Yeah.
And now it's any player who makes the signal.
Yeah.
Also, this one is interesting because I feel like the Bearcats have maybe not. We've heard grumblings. I'll say that. Enhanced rules regarding simulating action at the snap and words or signals that distract opponents when they are preparing to put the ball in play will also be effective next season. No player can call defensive signals that simulate the sound or cadence of the offensive signals. The defensive terms move and stem would be reserved for players on that side of the ball and could not be used by the offense. So you can't try and draw people off sides any longer by calling out your cadence. You
can't smack a guy's ass to simulate the sound of a clap,
right?
Which you see has had happened to it before.
On more than one occasion.
Supposed to be rules in place for this already. I guess these are just more defined.
Well, now you have actual words that they're reserving for the defense.
Right,
move and stem.
They're more defined, yeah.
Words that don't sound like words that
Hut
are generally in cadence.
Right?
We'll see how that goes.
Right.
After the 2-minute timeout in either half, if the defense commits a foul with 12 or more players on the field and all players participate in the play, the officials will administer a 5-yard penalty. The offensive team would have the option to reset the game clock back to the time of the start of the play. If the 12th player is attempting to leave the field and has no influence on the play, the defensive team will be penalized 5 yards with no adjustment to the game clock.
This is from the play we saw last year where, was it Ohio State?
Yes, I think it was.
Notre Dame. It was Notre Dame.
Where Freeman outsmarted. Yeah.
Yeah.
And coach-to-player communication, similar to technology implemented for the Football Bowl subdivision last year, will be a permissive option for teams that compete in the football championship subdivision. So everyone's going to be using helmet to helmet, coach to helmet communication.
Nothing too notable. I guess the injury one,
we'll see how that goes.
I guess a lot in the SEC, but
yeah, Lane Kiffin. That's Lane Kiffin 101.
Yeah, it hasn't happened a whole lot outside of that. So it used to be a thing when like when Oregon and Chip Kelly were like going at 9,000 miles an hour, people were dropping out.
Missed that.
We don't see a whole lot of it anymore. So I mean, okay. I don't think it's a big deal.
120 plays a game.
Yeah. Those were the days. All right.
That's what we got.
I will see you at some point in time this weekend, Aaron. I don't know when. That's all I can tell you. We'll see you next time. That's the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!